Hello, and welcome back to the podcast where you are invited for lighthearted conversations about things that matter as you seek to live your most meaningful, beautiful, and joyful life. I'm your host, Dr. Edie Wadsworth, and I hope you enjoy your stay here at the House of Joy.
Hey guys, welcome to House of Joy. It is your girl. I'm popping in really quickly to give you some context on what you're about to watch. I cannot believe I'm allowing you the honor of watching what you're about to witness. But I wanted to give you a little backstory on what this is because we were at Love is Magic this past, I guess this is a month ago almost.
Couple weeks
ago. And I had several beautiful, kind ladies come up to me about what you're about to watch. This was in 2022. Mom had asked me to do a little interview on her. Honestly, at the time, I had no idea what she did. I was like, sure, I'll come on your
I'll come inside
podcast?
your program and do an interview.
At the time, we have sort of talked about this on the podcast, but not really in depth, I don't think. Yep. I was a junior in college, about to be done with my junior year, and I had just come out of a really dark season of life. I had just quit smoking weed that I had done for years and years, and anyway, Mom and I had this beautiful intervention moment. I told her everything I did, and this interview came literally maybe a month after that.
Yeah.
So I was
so darn proud of you. You were so brave to do it. And people just keep on 3 years later talking to you about it. So we're we should put this on the pod.
3 years later, it's still somehow really impacting people. And I had never watched it until literally just a few minutes ago. And I just was proud of myself too. I look back at that little version of me, and I'm really proud of the way I was able to articulate myself. I mean, it's definitely a hard watch, but I definitely think there are things in there that obviously still impact people. So I wanted that to be available to everyone who listens to the podcast. So,
yep. Especially if you're in a hard season yourself, or if one of your kids is in a really hard season, I think you will find so much hope and so much encouragement from it.
I hope so, and I'm really thankful that I said yes to do that, because honestly, I feel like from that moment, it really helped me just let go and keep going in my life. And anyway, it's really raw and it's really vulnerable, and we did it in front of people in her program, so we're kind of talking to them and each other. And anyway, I hope that this serves you in some way, and don't judge I don't know if we're playing the video.
I don't think we're going to play the video.
Well,
but
I'll just give you a little secret.
You the audio.
I had black hair. Black like my heart at the time.
It definitely is one of those times, I think, that you'll always look back on. It's kind of a before and after, a real defining moment in your life.
Definitely.
When you kind of just stopped hiding and came clean, literally and figuratively.
Yeah. And so really I didn't watch the whole thing, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, we just wanted to give you a little bit of
an
intro before we dive in, but good luck. Pull up your bootstraps. It's not pretty, but I think it will be.
It's beautiful. You'll enjoy it. And yes. I am so proud of you.
So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yep. So happy to see you today. You guys are in for a treat. My dear daughter, Emme, has agreed to come on and be interviewed. We're going to talk today about parenting adult kids. This is one of the most requested topics when it comes to parenting, and I thought, what better way than let's just get the adult kids on here. So I'm really excited. We will bring Emme on in just a second. Oh, she's already here. Okay, good. We'll bring her on in just a second. I wanted to give you a little bit of something to sink your teeth into, since I'm not doing a whole teaching on it this month, but I do have a lot of thoughts about parenting adult kids. And so before we bring her on, I do want to say a few words about, hold on. I do want to say a few words about it. First of all, tell me in the chat, if you have adult kids, how old are they? I would love to know just like the average age of your kids. Even if you don't have adult kids, but tell me the ages of your kids. That will help me too. So hold on. I am going to, there we go. Okay. So we got a lot of 20s, 20, 30, 18 to 26. Awesome. Okay. We got lots of 20 somethings. Okay. Perfect. So here's what I want to say really quick about parenting adult kids. These are just things that I think will really help you as you're navigating what can feel hard. I agree. It can feel hard. So, of course, little Bandit wants to come in. He wants to hear all about it. He loves to be in here when I'm coaching. Okay. So a couple things to avoid. Number one, codependence. You guys, we do this so often with our kids and we don't realize it. We think that our own emotional life, emotional well-being is dependent on the choices they make and whether their life turns out how we thought. And we don't think of it often as being emotionally codependent, but it is. It's like emotional childhood, wanting the kids to be a certain way so that we can feel a certain way about our lives, about their lives, about our parenting. And when we do that, it makes us weird. It makes us very controlling. And I think that this is one of the hardest habits to break when you're in the habit of doing this. And a lot of us are in the habit of doing this, right? No wonder. We are so attached to them and we want them. We have all these dreams for them. And I don't want you to stop dreaming for them. I want you to keep having all your amazing dreams for them and holding them in the highest regard and anticipating amazing things from them. But I also want you to realize they're separate from you. They get to live their own lives. And you don't have to derive your emotional wellness, you definitely shouldn't try to, from them and how they turn out and what they choose and all of that. So avoid these two things, codependence and controlling. Now, we like to control them in multiple ways. We love controlling them. Can y'all say amen for all of you little controllers out there, right? We think we have some control. I can tell you, after raising a lot of kids, we have hardly any. I know, Angela, if they would just do what we say, we know best. We think we know best, right? And sometimes we do this through like outright trying to control them. We have a lot of rules. We have a lot of expectations. We feel like we're entitled to them doing what we think they should do, right? But sometimes we do this by people pleasing them. Then we try to control how they feel about us, how they see us. You can do it on both sides. My tendency would be to control by people pleasing. Maybe your tendency would be to control, Aline said duct tape. Okay, fine. But I promise you, you can't control them. And when you try, here's what it creates. It creates disconnection. So if you're going to avoid codependence and avoid controlling, what you really seek is connection. So I want you to think about what you're doing with your older kids. You're wanting connection. Is what you're doing achieving that? And very, very often it isn't. And I wanted to have Emme on, so I'm going to bring her on. I wanted to have her on because she has recently been through like just a lot of change and a lot of transformation. And you know how it is when you're that age. Things feel hard and complicated, and there's boyfriends, and there's what you want to do with your life, and then there's the roommates that you live with, and there's your relationship with your parents and the stuff that you were taught, and you don't know if you actually believe the stuff that you were taught. And she's been through like an amazing, what I think is just amazing at her age. I'm like, gosh, I didn't start even thinking about all that stuff till I was close to 30. And I wanted to have her on because it was so precious the last few months, us talking about what she's been through and where she's come, and looking back on, you know, decisions that she made, decisions that we made in our parenting. And I just thought it would be so fun to have her. We also have questions. So if you have questions that you want to ask Emme or that you want to ask me, you can put them in the Q&A. We have a few that were submitted in the Facebook group and some really good ones from Instagram. So I am going to bring Emmy on. I'm so grateful she's here, you guys. She's so darling. She's just darling. We were all together this past weekend for Mother's Day. Hi.
Hello.
How are
Oh,
you, dear heart?
I'm like really nervous right now. I don't know why.
It's
Like,
okay. Emmy, there's only 140 people watching.
yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
It's totally fine. Um, First of all, we are so glad you're here. Emmy is coming to us from her actual house. She lives in
Yes.
a house in downtown Chattanooga. Maybe you just tell us, because people were asking like what you're doing, what's your plan. So just tell us, just give us a little update on Emmy.
Well, yeah, so I'm currently in my house. I live like 2 minutes from the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. I'm actually going into my senior year, which is really weird.
Yes.
So I'm like trying to figure out what I'm gonna end up doing with my life. We're not
Everybody
really.
wants to know. Tell them what your major is.
So my major is child and family studies. I was a communications major for the first 2 years, and then I don't know, it just wasn't what I thought it was. So that's my minor now.
Okay.
And I don't know, I kind of chose child and family studies after we got Thomas. Just seeing how his life and just the way he was brought into our lives and all that stuff, it was so interesting to me, and just the way, his behavior, and I don't know, all that stuff was very interesting. So I don't really know what I want to do with that at the
Yeah.
moment, but it does interest me. So
And Emmy she's the baby magnet. So wherever we are, she's holding the babies. I like to fight her for Eli. And she does a lot of babysitting. She's now working at a restaurant, but she's been doing a lot of babysitting. She's always been the baby magnet. So it's not surprising to me at all that she picked child and family studies. I love that.
I know I was actually going in the car on our way back from North Carolina. I was like stalking mom's old blog because she used to like post all of the like funny pictures of us. And there was a picture and I was holding like a baby doll and like stirring something at like 8.
8 years old, got the baby dolls.
Mhm.
So fun. Um, okay, so we love that update. Not currently dating. Somebody just asked. Not currently dating.
So we are single. We're super single.
We're super single right now. She's
Mhm.
had a couple boyfriends. Um, so tell us a little bit about your journey because several people also said, "Oh my gosh, I'm taking my kids to college this fall. What advice do you have for me?" So go back a little bit to what it was like separating from your parents, separating from the like your life that you had here that was so probably
Mhm.
more protected than you would like.
Yeah.
Um, what was that transition like, and what advice do you have for mamas who are in that transition with their kids, trying to let go?
Yeah, so I feel like the end of high school, I really started craving a better social life, I guess. And I started to really resent mom just because we were so close, but we had homeschooled for that period of time. And I just always viewed my life as like, oh, I was so weird. We like moved away. I was homeschooled. I went to a Christian school after. And so I just craved to be like
You just
normal.
wanted to be normal. You said that a
Yeah.
lot. I just want to be normal.
Yeah. Like go to the public school and like, I don't know. And I definitely at the end of high school, like got into that normal life and I was so happy. But it definitely like separated our relationship a lot. And so then when I got into college, I was actually just so relieved almost to like not have you to sound
Yeah,
so sorry, but
it's okay.
just to have my own like do my own thing and not feel like I was disappointing you. I think that at the end of the day that was what it was, because when I was so close in proximity to where you were, I knew you knew
Yeah.
what I was doing. Well, I wanted to pretend like you didn't, but I knew deep down that you did. So when I was
So
away,
it helped to have like separation, like
yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, you come to college. I think that's part of it anyway, is like doing your own thing and being on your own. And it's a good thing, but I definitely was just glad to just be on my own and make my own decisions, more for the fact that I didn't have anyone telling me that they were wrong, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes, makes perfect sense. And you probably lived that way, I would guess, for a couple years,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
You're doing what you want, not necessarily following any. Well, you I mean you can
Yeah.
tell
Well, so
as
the
much
first,
or as little as you want.
I don't know how much to share. I don't really care to share a lot. I mean, I'll
Okay.
just be honest.
Yeah.
So the first 2 years of college, I was in a relationship for those first 2 years. So I really wasn't like going super crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
My
He still
boyfriend,
lived here.
yeah, he still lived in Morristown. So I was coming home a lot anyway, but I would say I was still pretty separated from you all. Like,
Yes.
I don't know how it seemed on your end, but I was definitely like
Yeah.
hiding what I was really doing.
Yes.
But I mean, should I talk about the like,
Do whatever you want.
okay.
Listen, we are so real in this group. Like, we really are. We talk about all the human things. So, whatever you're comfortable with is totally fine.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna be honest. My boyfriend, and this is no shade to him, but he smoked a lot of weed.
Yep.
And so I got into the habit, like the first 2 years of college, I would say I was smoking like every day.
Yep.
And I mean, not every day, but it might as well have been. So
And
when I was
I kind of already knew in high school that you were doing it. We talked about this a couple months ago, but yeah, go ahead. Yep.
but I also, so that like definitely now that I can look back on it, I've stopped now. And so I can look back with like a clear mind and realize the decisions I was making um were coming from like a place where I wasn't really understanding or had awareness of what I was doing.
Yeah.
But because I was in a relationship and I did like have a lot of love for him in that relationship,
Yeah.
but I was very jealous of like, I had a roommate from the very beginning and she was out able to do whatever she wanted because she was single. And it felt like, when you're smoking weed, you don't really realize it definitely like makes you very antisocial and like have a lot of anxiety in social situations.
Yes.
Um, and so I was just having so much anxiety. Like I could have gone and done all the things that I thought I was missing out on, like parties or whatever it is. But I had a boyfriend, so like I couldn't really do it because of that. And then also I just had a lot of like internal anxiety about it.
Yep.
And so that was really like the first 2 years. And of course I had good memories and I don't think I was like doing anything like drastic, like horrible.
Yeah.
Like I just wasn't happy. I definitely was just like masking a lot of what I actually felt deep down. And then we broke up when was it? Like
Last
August.
summer. Yep.
And that is where, so that relationship, I just felt really like I knew I didn't want to be in it, not because of really him, just the way I felt. And I knew that like the thing with the weed was just I knew I didn't want to do it. And I knew that it just had such a hold on me. Like I couldn't stop basically. And so broke up with him finally after like months of thinking about it in the back of my head. I mean, you can ask mom, like it was definitely something that I had.
Hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And so after that, I finally felt like, oh my gosh, after these 2 years where I felt so in like a box and like couldn't do really what I
Almost like
wanted.
you were in our box for a long time and then you put yourself in another box,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
And so it never felt like I actually like even, yes, that's exactly right. Like first it was y'all and then it was just that relationship and kind of just myself.
Yeah.
And then when I got out of that, I went crazy.
Yeah.
I basically told him that I was going to end the relationship to stop smoking and like um that's not what happened. So
Yeah.
I ended up just like from so much of the freedom, I think it felt like freedom from all of it. Like it
All of
was
it. Yeah.
finally the time that I was like completely on my own, made all my own decisions, nothing was holding me back. And so I was drinking every night of the weekend. I became friends with a new group of people, and they're not bad people. It's just we were all sorry, can you hear that? I don't know why.
Yeah. It's okay. Just turn it on
I don't
silence.
know how to turn it off, but anyway, um, I was drinking every night of the weekend, smoking every day, taking Adderall to like be able to get my schoolwork done. And it was just really bad. And I did at the time I had no, I mean, I knew deep down that I was not on a good path, but I was masking it so heavily. Every time I felt the like an inch of like, oh, I need to like,
Discomfort or
yeah, then I would just do something else to like
yeah.
mask it. And it's funny because like I knew that that was like something that would happen when you like deep down know that you're not doing right. Like you mask it, you mask it, you mask it.
We talk
Uh,
about that in this all the time. We call it buffering. Yes, we all do it, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
And so I was not even talking to mom. I didn't go home at all just because I knew, I mean, I just knew that I
And
wasn't
Emmy
happy.
is a somebody asked us about communicating. Emmy is a very good communicator. So when she pulls back from communication, I always know like she's probably not great.
And the thing is, like at the time, I really thought that I was hiding it well. Like,
Yeah.
well, I was hiding it so well from myself too. I was like so convinced that I had finally gotten the life that like of college that I wanted.
Yep.
Um, and I was able to like get in the friend group that my roommate was always in, and I would finally like all these boys like thought I was fun and cool, and these friends that I thought were so cool finally thought I was cool. But it ended up like I just didn't realize I was like in a really dark place. Like I would have never really known. And my roommate Sydney actually, she had kind of been going through she had gone kind of through that stage way before me. And so not way
And
before me,
was out of it. Yeah. Yeah.
was out of it and kind of like bettering her life. She started like going to this Bible study, and she would always like ask me and my roommates to go. She would always be like, come on. And it honestly made us so mad. Like she really made me so mad. And I didn't want to hear it because I thought that her doing that was like somehow like
Judging you or
judging me or attacking me. And she would do that for a long time. Like she would just be like, hey, you want to go to church? Hey, do you want to not even go to church? Like, do you want to hang out with these friends that I like love and know that care about me? Blah, blah, blah. And then I think when we went on our, she'd been doing that through the whole like semester. And then we went on our family trip to where did we go?
Denver.
Colorado. Yeah,
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I really realized how like deeply I was like not okay. Just because when you're around your family, there's no, they love you no matter what, but the guilt of what you're doing, like
Yeah.
you're faced with it because you can't, I was just living such a double life. And it was so hard to try to act like I was like great in
Yeah.
front of the whole family when like deep down I was so like lost and sad. And so after that was when I was like, okay, I really have to like change something because if I keep going down this path, like I don't know how I'll get out of it because I could just feel myself like getting deeper and deeper into it.
Yeah.
And then finally I just like Sydney had been praying for me, and I didn't find this out until after I had kind of like gotten back on track.
Yeah.
She had been praying for me for like a good long while, and I could just feel a sense of like wanting to be better. Like it wasn't just that I like knew I was doing wrong. It was like I actually wanted to make changes in my life. So I really think like honestly her praying for me,
Yeah.
I don't want to get emotional about it.
We do all the time on here, Sissy. You're gonna make me cry, but yeah, I know.
Um,
So
I don't
awesome.
want to cry.
Okay, baby.
Just
Everybody's
knowing
loving on you in the chat. So
knowing that someone had really cared enough and saw that I was not okay. And like instead of trying to like judge me or like come to me, she just prayed for me every night. And that like when she told me that, like it just changed a lot of the way I viewed like so I was struggling a lot. Hold on.
okay,
Um
we're all crying now. It's fine.
I was struggling just even with like what I believed because I wanted so badly to not be wrong, and I didn't want to be I didn't want to like change my life. I
Right.
just wanted
Right.
to like stay where I was and
Just feel better. Yeah.
yeah. But so it got me questioning my faith a lot, and I don't know, there was a lot of little things that led to me being able to like kind of see what was going on. But a lot of it was just my roommate. I started going to her Bible study a little bit, and we both started working out at this new place, and the people there were just so incredible. They made me feel it really just makes me so uh, I didn't even think that this was gonna happen.
I know. We've cried a lot already over this, but that's okay. More tears need to come.
I don't know, being surrounded by people who actually deeply cared. I met with this girl, so her and her husband own the gym that we started going to. And I'd actually joined a Bible study that she had led in the summer, and I like barely went to it. But her church had had my name like on a card or something, and she brought me to lunch and basically just like cried with me, and I was able to just like let go. I was being so honest, kind of like I am now, like let go of all the fear that I had surrounding what I'd been doing, because that was the hardest thing, was like actually just not denying where I was, because I
Yeah.
just wanted to make it seem like I was fine. But
Right.
actually like being honest about what I was doing and the decisions I was making and how I felt, it just felt like I was like letting go of so much. And I don't know, it like opened up our relationship. I feel like I finally was like, oh, well, I can just, we just sat down one day. I came
Yeah.
home and just was like honest about everything
Yeah.
and told you everything, which I had always been so like deeply scared, I think,
Worried that I
about
would
what
judge
you
you
would,
or, yeah.
yeah. And so when I finally just was honest with everyone, it was like, oh, well, it doesn't change anything anyway. Like, I guess I was so scared of like what would happen if you knew all these things. Like all throughout high school, all throughout, I
Yeah.
was like, if my mom ever knew that this is who I was, like, this is who I really am, then
Yeah.
she would, it would just change everything. But when I like was honest, and it like didn't
Didn't
even
change anything.
phase you, I don't know. It just makes you, yeah, it's like I saw someone said bringing it into the light. It's so hard to like when you're in the darkest place to realize if you just like turned and let it all be like known, it feels like that's the scariest thing.
Yeah.
But once you do it, you realize like that's it. Like then you're done. And
Yeah.
you know. So I'm really thankful to have like, I mean, I really think it's like other people's prayers and
Yeah.
them wanting what's best for me. And also I think like a lot of it ties back to how I was raised. I was able to like come back to some sort of foundation. All the things, like it's so funny now, I just like all the things that I was so embarrassed about or like thought were so weird or was so mad about the way that you did things. Now I'm like so thankful for them, and I see why you did it that way. And
Yeah,
so
Emmy talks a lot about like she talks a lot about this now. Like she can meet people or have friends and go, you can just tell if somebody has had some grounding and how
mhm,
they were raised, even though you don't like it at the time. But
yeah,
that foundation is really, really important.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I now I'm like in such a better place, and I feel like it's so apparent to like anyone in my life.
Yeah.
Um and I just am surrounded by a lot better people. Um and like our relationship, like I literally I probably annoy mom. Like I literally call her like at least 3 times a day.
I love it. Well,
So,
it's interesting too because when Emmy was going through this dark time, Stevie and I would talk about it, and I'd say, I don't think she's doing very well. I knew you were smoking. I wasn't sure how much. I knew you were drinking. I wasn't sure how much. Um, and we both, I guess because we've both been there before, like this is not our first rodeo, we both just had this, I don't know, deep abiding faith. She's going to be fine. This
mhm,
is the phase you go through. Steve's like, oh my gosh, so much more tame than what I was doing at her age.
mhm,
And we just believed and prayed I I never felt it's interesting because I think a lot of times when you think your kids are going to somehow be not human and not go through this, it puts so much distance between you. And I think because in our hearts we were like, of course they're all going to go through this. And then they're all going to be fine. And we just trusted that. And so even at the worst of it, when we both knew that it wasn't good, we just had faith. Like, of course she's going to come through this. Of course she's amazing and beautiful and has so many gifts. And, I think really it's kind of like we say it all the time in life mentoring school, but it's holding the people that you love in the highest regard, seeing that highest vision of them, and knowing that, first of all, it's never up to me what you choose for your life. Second of all, holding you emotionally hostage doesn't help either. Like if I was trying to really correct, because Stevie and I did think about doing this. We actually sort of tried this when you first went to college. We were like, okay, well, we're only going to support you if, you go to church every week and blah, 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 blah. And then we kind of quickly realized, like, no, I really just want to stay connected to you, whatever that takes.
Well, it's so interesting because I see it in a lot of my other friends. And like, if you would have in that time, because I know you knew that I was like not good,
Yeah.
but if you would have like been texting me all the time, like, what are you doing? Like, I know you're doing this. Like, I think it would have like pushed me even further into it.
Yeah.
Like, no, getting to that on my own, I knew that I was
Right.
doing wrong deep
Yeah.
down.
You
Like,
didn't need me to tell you. Your conscience was telling you. Yeah.
no. And like, I think what made me want to come to you was the fact that you hadn't. And like, I wanted to be the one to like tell you when I got there. Like when I was at the point where I could talk about it, then it was like once I was at the point where I realized that it doesn't do any good to keep that all under wraps. Like it does a lot more for you to just open up about it. Then when I was able to do that with you, then our like my communication with you definitely,
Yeah.
like I feel like I can tell you anything now
Yeah.
because I know my heart is in the right place. So if I did struggle,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Well, and the thing of it is, I also think my mom was like this when I was young. She was, she parented so much with unconditional love.
Mhm.
And I just knew that no matter what I said or what happened, whatever, she would just always be there. And I think if you provide that kind of place, it's such a good, place that your kids can, when they're ready,
Mhm.
come back to you, right? Because they know there's not going to be any judgment. We've all been there. We've all done things. We have to get to the story on our own, right? I mean, we have to get to what we feel. And to be honest, um it even though like Em has had this amazing transformation, who knows like where it's going to take her. And
Right.
like I try to make her promise that when she starts having babies, she'll move next to me and always be right here, but she probably won't. I mean, I realize that I can't control any of that, but I think providing a place where the basis of it is unconditional love, not trying to judge, not try to control, not trying to hinge my emotional life on yours. Like, if you're not doing well, I'm not doing well, right? And I think that and you might, and I would love to hear your take on this, Em, but I think the best thing parents can do is just live well themselves.
Yeah.
And then,
I agree. And I think we've talked about this a lot as like a joke, but it's kind of like true. Whenever we got Thomas, a lot you were a lot less concerned.
yeah,
Like honed in on what,
I was less like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Yeah.
yeah. And in some ways I think it really helped all of our relationships because I think it helped you realize like they're gonna do.
They're going to do what they're going to do. There's big problems in the world, and
Mhm.
your teenager.
Which is I don't think it's all, but also like you having your like business, you're so involved in that, and that's really motivating to watch anyway. Like I think a big thing of why I like came because a lot I know dad said like I'm just so thankful it happened so early, but I think part of the reason that I was able to have the awareness of it
Yeah.
pretty soon. I mean, like it felt like a long time for me, but really like people go through a lot deeper and longer periods of time where they're like so in like those dark places.
Yeah.
But I think some of it was just like you weren't dependent on what I was doing
Right.
at all. And so you still loved me, but like what I was the decisions I was making was not affecting
Yes.
you at all.
Yep.
And seeing that you're like, oh, okay, well,
Then it's just me.
yeah. And I see what you have because of the hard work you put in, and like you want that for yourself too. And it's like you want to believe that the life, like for me, I wanted to believe that like the life you're living is somehow like fake, or like, you know, when you are living a healthy life and you actually like focus on the right things, it does bring you happiness. And that's like your whole thing, I think.
Yeah.
And I wanted so badly to prove that wrong.
That's wrong.
Yeah, like I can do
I
these
can live
things.
however I want and have a happy life, right?
Yeah. But I just started to realize like the reason you are so happy and you're able to help so many people is because the things you say actually work. And the way you lead your life really does affect how happy you are and how content you are.
Yeah.
And so I was able to see that because I was able to see it for myself. Like you've told me all these things my whole life, like
Yeah.
basic things that like, oh, your nutrition and like working out and being surrounded by good people, like those are things that you've taught me all my life. But until I was able to like actually see that for myself, then it actually
Yeah.
affected me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you do have to come to it on your own. The way you decide that you want to live your life. You can look at somebody else and go, well, that's the way my parents choose. And obviously, we don't always make the right decisions either. But you can take all the good stuff that you want from the people that you're surrounded by and forge your own way and make your own life. And ultimately, that's what we all have to do, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm so darn proud of you. I love everybody has said this today, but I love so much that you can just freely talk about it, that you've accepted the whatever, forgiveness, whatever that lets you not live in shame about it, right? Because it's just part of being human. And I think it's so cool. Emmy and I had a long talk. I would love to do some more research on this, but we had a long talk about marijuana use, and it's so widespread. It's so widespread in colleges. It's so widespread everywhere. And I've had experience with it quite a bit, not personally, I've never used it myself, but with a lot of people that I love, and I think it is very damaging, regular use of that. And Emmy, her story with it was exactly what I've experienced helping other people get off of it. But it kind of suppresses that part of your spirit that seeks truth. And Emmy had that exact same thing. When she quit using that, she had a spiritual awakening. And
Mhm.
everybody that I've helped with that has had the same thing. Like,
Well, I think when you're doing it, I mean, we talk about this a lot in Bible study, but like when you're there with the devil, you're doing exactly what he wants you to do, which I get. This is like they call it the devil's lettuce or whatever,
yeah,
but it truly is kind of scary how true that is, because when you're doing it constantly, any thought like that is just not in your mind, because it's
right.
like, I don't know how to even explain it really, but I I was just so shut off to
Yeah,
my like emotions, and it's like I knew deep down still what the truth was,
yeah,
but it was so much easier to like hide it than like actually face the truth, which was that I knew that it wasn't doing any good for me. It's honestly makes you so lazy, and like you're able to convince yourself that you're doing things and that it's not bad.
yeah,
Like you so want it to not be bad that
right.
you're like convincing yourself like, oh, it's not affecting me at all. Like I can do it and do this and that and this and like I'm fine. But I like had a night where it was kind of when I started having some awareness, and like I started reading my Bible, like just because I was so curious about like what it had to say. And like I knew that I needed better in my life and I knew I needed more, but I was still kind of attached to it a little bit.
Yep,
And there was one night where I like did not want to smoke at all. Like I knew I didn't want to, and it almost felt like it literally, because in my head I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I was like almost crying because I like didn't want to do it so bad, but it felt like something had taken over my
yep,
body, and I
yep,
just did it. And I like sat there so upset and so sad. And like that is the moment that I like truly, like I was scared. I was like terrified. because it was not out of my control. Like it was not something that I wanted to do. It
Yeah.
felt like it, I mean, now looking back, it feels like that was like actually the devil, like
Yeah.
doing it, you know? And once I like felt that like actual terrified feeling that I knew I didn't want to do it and I did it anyway, even when my mind and my body was like telling me not to do it.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, this is not good at all. And I do feel like it's the devil. And of course, he wants me at a point where I'm not thinking about the Lord. Like, of course, that's exactly the place that he wants you at.
Yeah.
And it's really scary how many people do it and
Yeah.
will continue to do it and convince themselves that it has no, like, no backlash on your life. It's
Yeah.
really easy to convince yourself when you're in the moment. But now looking back, like I haven't done it in months and I've literally never felt better. So
Yeah.
now like I have no desire, but I was praying every night like for the Lord to just change the desires of my heart because I knew that it was just so deep. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what really helped. I really feel like because I have no desire. I mean, it's around me still
Yeah.
and I it's like the farthest thing from my mind. And so I think praying the right kind of prayers where it's like God will answer your prayer to change the desire of your heart, even if it's in a way that like, I mean, this semester has been the hardest semester of my life, actually. I've had to make a lot of changes. I've had to change a lot of situations that I was in,
Yeah.
and it was really, really hard. But also, I've never felt more proud or like content in where I'm headed and where I'm going. So,
So amazing. I told Emmy she needs to be a coach with us someday. She, somebody said you're a gifted communicator. Yes, you are. I have a few questions, and then we'll get to there's some in the Q&A, but I have a few questions. Somebody asked, "What is one lesson from your childhood that you feel like made you who you are?"
good question. Um, I don't know. The thing that's coming to mind, this isn't really a lesson, but something that I feel like has always helped me be who I am was mom would always tell us to spread sunshine every day, like every single day. And it was so annoying to me. I was like, okay, like
What
whatever.
does that even mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. That's like, I feel like a big thing that's always been something that I like strive for is to be kind to people and for people to, even if I don't agree with them or even if I don't do the same things as them, like I want people to feel that from me. And so I guess that's just like ingrained in me.
Yeah.
But that's not really a lesson. I'm trying to think of like an actual lesson. I feel like the biggest thing was being different, which I tried to get away from for so long, but like not just falling into the normal life, like being homeschooled and the things we learned and the way I'm able to communicate, I really think is from the way we were taught and the way we grew up. Like I was around adults, for the most of my days. Like
Yeah.
that was like where we spent them.
Yeah.
And like being passionate about what you want to do. It's hard for me to talk about because it's like a kind of annoying that I wanted to steer away from it so bad. Like the things that I actually love about myself and that I like I'm so thankful for are things that I was
Things that are
pushing
different.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, for so long.
Yeah.
But I think that's just part of high school too. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm annoyed at like Ellie, my sister, totally was the opposite. Like she did not care what people thought. She did not care to have friends. She didn't care that we were different. She totally went with her passion and like never looked back.
Yeah.
And so sometimes like I have like a little bit of like, why couldn't I have just like not cared what people
What
thought?
people thought. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just part of who I am. Like I'm a super people pleaser.
Let me ask
Uh,
you this. Do you think somebody asked this, and I think this is a great question. I knew that you were doing things that weren't good for you,
mm,
and I didn't like intervene in any way. Some people are asking, like, what could your parents have done to have helped more? Or what would that have looked like if we had tried to intervene? Or should people whose there's people on this call right now whose kids are where you were last year.
Mhm.
They want to do something, but what would be your advice?
Sometimes I do wish that there would have been like more open conversation about things like that, and
Okay.
not in like, oh, I know you're doing this, and like
Okay.
marijuana is so bad. Like, I don't know if things like that would have helped me. I think it would have, you know, but just more, I don't know. It was like almost, I felt like we just did not talk about any of that at all.
Yeah.
Like, it was never like even hearing, because like we talked about, I don't know, maybe making it a lighter conversation. It's not
Okay.
so, oh, like we're gonna sit down and we're gonna have a talk. I don't know how to like go about that. And like obviously I get why you didn't talk about it and didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
But I think because I felt like it was such this like hidden thing that like we never talked about, it even more made me want to
Made it
like go
worse.
sneak out and like do those things.
I
Or when
think
I was in
too,
it.
part of the conversations that your dad and I had about it were his parents really pursued him, like follow him around, and he's like, that doesn't work. She'll come around. Just give her space. And so, and because I really never went through a phase like that,
Yeah.
I wasn't exactly sure either. But I think you're right. I think a heavy confrontational conversation probably not good,
Like I
but
think even knowing about like dad's past and like
would have
kind of
helped.
would have helped.
Yeah. Because we, after Emmy shared with us what she had been through, of course, we were like, oh, yeah, of course. Dad went through that phase, and here's what it was like for him. And we openly talked about it. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like talking about it beforehand might
And
have helped.
having that open like when I told you, I guess I expected like when I before I had that conversation, I was kind of nervous because I was like, they're gonna be so concerned.
Yeah.
This is so funny, but like I literally used to tell my friends, like if my mom actually knew what I do, like she'd probably send me to rehab. Like she'd be so
She'd
concerned.
be so, yeah.
But when we actually finally had that conversation and y'all were not, it was like you were not phased at all. It was
Right.
like that. It was like so nonchalant. And dad like brought up that. Then I felt so comfortable to say whatever.
Yeah.
And so maybe like, I don't know how we would have gotten there. It's hard because like, I don't know how I would have gotten to that point if it wouldn't have been for all the things that led to it.
Led
But
to it, right. And we always say in life mentoring school, it all happens how it's supposed to.
mhm.
But anything that could help people that are in that situation, I think is awesome. Let me ask you this. Let's try to get through a few of the questions. Setting people have asked a lot about setting boundaries for when like your older kids come back to live at home and they don't want to live by your rules, or you know they're doing drugs and you want to be able to set boundaries for that. And here's what I will say to that. I think either approach is fine. Stevie and I have actually had to take both approaches. We have had a situation with a child where we had to set a firm boundary. Like, if you're going to live here, these are the rules. If you can't follow the rules, and we set a timeline, and we had to ask that child to move out. Mostly, we try to have a way softer approach. Like when you and Ellie moved home, during COVID, we weren't trying to stay up and see what time you got home,
Yeah.
or like we basically were way more relaxed about it. And, so I think you can do either one. But here's what I think is not good. I think it's not good when you just make threats all the time that you don't actually follow through with, and you're emotionally codependent on your kids. So there's a lot of negative emotion. I think as much as you can, staying in a place of, we love you so much, and we know that you get to live your own life and make your own choices. Here's what we will do if those choices, affect us in a certain way. I think keeping the emotion out of it is my point. Staying in a place of connection. How can I still be connected to them? How can I show them unconditional love? So I think it's totally fine to set boundaries. I just think that a lot of times what people do is not actually set boundaries. What they do is make threats in a lot of negative emotion that they don't actually follow through with. So if you're not
Well,
going to follow through with it, then you might as well stop making all the threats and making everybody miserable, right?
I feel like the big thing, and I am not a parent, but like you don't want to be friends with your kid when they're growing up, right? Like we were definitely close. Like I feel like we had a great relationship growing up. I mean, we definitely had our moments when we were homeschooled, but like
Yeah.
I feel like when your kids are older, like I do feel like you're my best friend now. Like
Yeah.
now that I can look at life from my own point of view and I feel pretty like aware and like pretty smart when it comes to like the world, like I do feel like we are like friends at this point. And I
Yeah.
really like that. I like having that relationship where I can like feel like I can really tell you anything.
Yeah.
And I do feel like you would tell me, you would be honest with me
Mm-hmm.
now at this point, like if you saw that I was doing something like stupid. But I feel like being able to get to that point myself and not, and like you like, kind of throwing your hands up now that I've gotten there myself, like we really can just have like
Yeah.
a really good relationship.
And I totally agree. And I don't think that me being whatever, judgmental, or I don't think that that would have gotten you there any faster.
Mm-mm. No, I feel like actually it's the opposite. Like the way that you still showed unconditional love, like even when I knew you knew, like on that trip, I think some of the like conviction from it was that you never treated me or anyone any different
Mm-mm.
through those times. You never tried to like low key like hint at, oh, I know you're doing this, you should probably
Right.
fix that. You just were your same self. You just were the same like loving mom, even though I probably wasn't reaching out all that much and I probably wasn't the best. Like you still just like every time we came home, it was just like the same
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
And so it made me want to come back because it's like you do start to realize in college, like no one really, like dad talked about this, like really no one loves you like your
Your
family
family.
does.
Yeah.
Like I used to never want to be around. I always like wanted to be with my friends, but now it's like family time is like my most cherished. Like I love being around.
Yeah.
And I think that comes just from like getting there yourself.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's so. I think that's why. By the way, in Life Mentoring School this month, we're studying the power of nurture, the power of being nurtured, the power of nurturing other people, and I think it's such a unique privilege to be able to do that in a parent-child relationship. It's just so powerful. It's like you say, nobody loves you
Mhm.
like your people. And we were just all together with our family for Mother's Day, and Emmy and I were crying on the way home. Emmy started it. And I think it is that, like, oh, I'm going to miss that because there's nobody that loves me like these people and nobody that I love like these people, right? It's such a powerful relationship. And I think just having faith that no matter where your kid, first of all, I think just being willing to be human and being willing to say, yeah, of course they went out and went wild for a while. Of course this is how it turned out. And if I don't know what's going to happen, but I just hold the faith that, they will know my love and feel my love and they'll come back to that.
Mhm.
And I really do trust in that. And I think no matter where your kids are on their journey, your faith in them, your prayers for them, your love for them will be so compelling that it will draw them back. And of course, yes, all those times when we handle it wrong. And the girls and I've had lots of talks about that. Like, ooh, I probably was a little too intense and hard on you during those homeschool years. Like, lighten up. That's what I would mostly tell people. Lighten up. Just love on them. They're going to go away and come back. That's kind of where I would tell my past self, like, just lighten up. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Amy's like, yeah.
But I mean, obviously didn't. I think now I can look back and see why you were like that. Like it does make sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Um,
the
do you have any ideas? Somebody's asking, how could we promote this open conversation that you are kind of wanting without asking direct questions or seeming judgmental? Do you have any ideas? Like how
I feel like maybe being open yourself, like
like what
opening
you
up.
struggled with when you were yeah,
Yeah, because like when you look at your parents and it's like hard to really actually connect that they were
humans with
humans. Yeah,
with a
like
lot of struggles and that they tried things and did things. Yeah.
and like not even expecting anything in return, but maybe just like hearing that from dad, like I just the open, we've been having way more open conversations
Yes.
and feeling that y'all respect me enough to like let me in on those like
Yeah.
things that I never actually understood before, but now I do.
Yeah.
It makes me like feel very comfortable saying how I feel and
Yeah.
saying what I'm going through,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
Stevie and we all had a long talk about it, his struggle with marijuana when he was younger and how hard it was to get off of, how sick he was for how long, how he had such a spiritual awakening. Like he shared all of that. And I think that was really helpful.
Yeah, because to hear like the older you get, you do realize like your parents aren't just these like untouchable,
Right.
like they also have had to
Yeah.
live this whole life. And like, I don't know, just having those, like hearing from dad, who like, I've told you this before, but like growing up, it was kind of hard to have like a really close relationship with him just because he's like not the type to like
Yeah.
be so open. And
Yeah.
now I feel like closer to him than ever because we've just been able to like kind of break down the, I guess, the walls. And I guess that just comes with age too. Like,
I think it's so cool though. You were saying this when we were away this weekend. You're like, I'm so obsessed with dad. He's so funny and so like it's like you guys I think now that you're older get to see a side of him that I've always
yeah,
seen, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
like I never was able to quite, and you go through like, I don't know, when you're in college, you just start to see things so differently. At least for me, like just the way that he is so much more like precious to me. Like everything he does, like he could have done, he was like wiping off the chairs for us to come outside and like sit down. And I didn't even want
Fire.
to go outside. Like honestly, I didn't. But just because he like took the time to like wipe down the chairs, I was like, we have to go out there.
To
Look
go
at him.
outside and sit because
Look
dad.
at dad.
I love that. Um, anything, let me see if we got any more questions. You've been so awesome to be so open. How old was Emmy when we were open about our past? I mean, we've talked little bits and pieces throughout because obviously I wrote a book about my past, but really only in the last few months have we shared, and she's 21, have we shared like basically
Yeah.
be willing to tell her like anything.
Yeah, I would say like the past couple months, honestly.
Um, okay, let's do one more question. Hold on. Um, I think we answered that one. Hold on. I think we answered those. Someone in the chat asked about financial support. Um, but well, our kids all have worked, but yes, we like are helping them with their school and such. Um, so yes, but they do also work. What I think that is mainly it. How did Stevie's health issue impact Emmy? Well, I think when Dad went through all his stuff, it was right after we got Tom, and you guys weren't really around that much. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean,
Impact you that much?
it definitely like scared us all, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was not here or I
Right.
wasn't there. So it was
Not
kind
that
of, and I
much.
was also not in a great place. So
Yeah,
I
you're not
wasn't
in a
like,
great place yourself. Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't too like, I don't want to say not too concerned. I mean, I was definitely was concerned,
Yeah.
but there wasn't much I could do about it. And like I said, like I feel like me and dad's relationship has grown a lot and it is continuing. Like I can just see how just now that I'm an adult, like
Yeah.
I can way more relate to him and like, well, he's always, I don't know, it's hard because like I've always loved dad, like he's always been the best. But I feel like in the period where I was struggling, like it was hard to like be connected to him because it was hard just to be connected to me, I guess. Like
Right. You weren't loving
but
yourself at that point.
no, but I mean, yeah, I wasn't really like that concerned, honestly. That sounds horrible, but
No. Um, how does your education path as a child? Hold on, let's see. We answered that one. We answered that one. Okay, I think we've answered most of the biggest questions. This has been so amazing. You have to promise to come back. I
I
think
will
this is
come
the
back.
most people we've ever had on live today.
Oh,
Everybody was excited to hear from you, and we really do appreciate your honesty. I think all the people with 20 somethings will see it differently now. Like, you guys, it's so hard to, you know, have some kind of hard line when you realize how amazing and precious they are. And I always saw her this way, even when she was going through rough times. And I think just holding the faith that they will come back to you.
everyone is so sweet. This is like,
I know.
I'm just like reading through these.
This is gonna, I told Emmy, I'm like, listen, you need to become a coach because you're so gifted at helping people. She's like already a coach to her friends. And so maybe she'll come back and be a coach to the young people. We'll start LMS, the 20 something version.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. I don't know what else I'm gonna do for life.
I know.
So
Well, we appreciate you. We love you so much. Thanks for coming
thank
on
you,
today.
Mama,
Thank
for
you
inviting
guys. I hope
me.
you enjoyed the session. We'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.